September 14th, 2025, 3:17 a.m. In the Black Waters 240 nautical miles northeast of Cuba, a U.S. Navy E-2D Hawkeye surveillance aircraft detected something impossible.
Now we are following some breaking news that I do want to pop up here on your screen as the Department of War, according to Fox News, conducting another strike on a drug smuggling boat in the Caribbean, killing all narco-terrorists on board. That's according to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth.
A radar signature measuring 480 feet in length. No transponder, no identification. Just a massive ghost moving silently through international waters. Its codename, Leviathan, the largest floating weapons factory ever constructed by the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. Inside its reinforced steel hull, 12 underground levels producing 50,000 assault rifles per month. 6 chemical laboratories synthesizing fentanyl so pure that a single gram could kill 2,000 people.
It is seeing a dangerous increase in the number of narcotics seizures. Just comparing now to this time last year, there's been a 93% increase in the deadly drug fentanyl and a 19% increase in methamphetamine.
Cargo holds containing 85 tons of weapons-grade explosives stolen from South American military bases. Estimated value, $18 billion. Enough firepower to arm a small nation. But that wasn't the worst part. Deep in the vessel's bowels, 420 people were held as slaves. Engineers kidnapped from Mexico. Chemists abducted from Colombia. Among them, 95 Americans. A marine biologist from California who disappeared while researching in Panama. Twin brothers from Arizona who vanished during a fishing trip. A retired Army medic from Virginia captured while doing charity work in Guatemala. Commanding this nightmare was Rafael El Fantasma Ruiz, the Ghost, a former Mexican Special Forces operator who went rogue 15 years ago. In the past 3 years, his organization had been linked to 4,800 violent crimes across 22 countries. Just 3 weeks earlier, his men had ambushed a DEA convoy in Honduras, killing 4 American agents and burning their vehicles on a highway as a message. For 18 months, every intelligence agency in the Western Hemisphere had been hunting Leviathan. But every time they got close, the ship vanished. Ruiz moved only at night, used civilian ships as cover, and whenever authorities closed in, he broadcast live video of hostages begging for their lives. But on this night, that calculation changed. When the Hawkeye's radar locked onto Leviathan's thermal signature, Naval Station Norfolk went silent. They had finally found it. And this time, America would not let it escape. Can the United States destroy an $18 billion cartel empire without losing a single hostage? Hit like, comment, and subscribe before we reveal how the most dangerous maritime operation in modern history unfolded. 11:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Inside the Navy E-2D Hawkeye, Senior Chief Petty Officer Marcus Webb stared at his screen. The thermal imaging was unmistakable. A vessel over 400 feet long with heat signatures from multiple internal facilities, industrial-grade chemical reactors, high-temperature forges, power generation at maximum capacity. This wasn't a cargo ship. This was a factory. Webb transmitted encrypted coordinates to U.S. Atlantic Fleet Command. Within 90 seconds, the data reached Vice Admiral Catherine Morrison's desk at Naval Station Norfolk. She had been waiting for this moment for 14 months. Ever since she'd attended the funeral of one of the DEA agents killed in Honduras. At 11:47 p.m., she placed a secure call to the Pentagon. By 11:51 p.m., the Secretary of Defense was briefing President Trump in the White House Situation Room. Satellite images appeared on the wall screens. Infrared showed the heat. Radar showed the size. Signals intelligence confirmed electronic emissions consistent with weapons manufacturing and chemical processing. The president leaned forward. For 18 months, this monster has operated in our waters, poisoning our citizens, killing our agents, holding our people in chains. Tonight, that ends. I want every available asset mobilized, and I want those hostages home alive. All of them.
So now they're coming in by land, and even the land is concerned because I told them that's going to be next. You know, the land is going to be next, and we may go to the Senate, we may go to the, Congress and tell them about it, but I can't imagine they'd have any problem with it.
At 12:03 a.m., he signed the authorization for Operation Black Horizon. The plan was staggering. 4 Ohio-class guided missile submarines carrying 240 Navy SEALs and Delta Force operators. 16 underwater autonomous vehicles to create a jamming bubble. 60 stealth drones for overhead surveillance. And the guided missile destroyer USS Arleigh Burke coordinating from 20 miles away. Over 800 personnel mobilized for a single target. As encrypted orders flashed through military networks, commanders across the Atlantic Fleet began moving assets into position. The ocean was about to become a battlefield, and Rafael Ruiz had no idea his empire had less than 6 hours to live. 2:47 a.m. The Caribbean Sea was glass smooth. Beneath that deceptive surface, 4 Ohio-class submarines rose silently, water cascading off their decks as hatches opened and combat swimmers emerged. At precisely 2:51 a.m., 16 underwater drones activated electromagnetic pulse generators simultaneously. On Leviathan's bridge, chaos erupted instantly. Radar screens died. GPS navigation froze. Radio communications dissolved into static. Satellite uplinks went dark. In 30 seconds, the most technologically advanced cartel vessel in existence had been rendered completely blind. At 2:54 a.m., the SEALs moved. For teams of 60 operators approached from cardinal directions. Team Alpha targeted the bridge. Team Bravo headed for weapons manufacturing. Team Charlie aimed for the chemical laboratories. Team Delta had the most dangerous mission, locating 420 hostages without alerting guards. Above them, 60 drones spread across the sky. Thermal cameras tracked every heat signature on deck. Within 2 minutes, the drones had identified 43 enemy combatants on external positions. At 2:58 a.m., the sky lit up with 43 simultaneous precision strikes. Rooftop guards fell where they stood. Deck sentries collapsed without a sound. In less than 10 seconds, Leviathan's outer defenses were eliminated. Magnetic grappling hooks fired from underwater. SEALs hauled themselves up the ship's sides like spiders. Within 90 seconds, all 4 teams had breached the hull. Team Alpha encountered resistance at a reinforced door, 6 guards in body armor. Flashbangs through an overhead vent, breached charges on the hinges. The door blew inward. Room secured in 18 seconds. Every guard neutralized. 0 American casualties. Team Bravo reached the weapons manufacturing level and found something unexpected. The facility wasn't just producing rifles, it was assembling guided missiles. Dozens of them, stacked with Cyrillic markings indicating Russian origin. This wasn't just cartel operation. This was international arms trafficking. 14 mercenaries guarded the room. They never had a chance. Suppressed weapons. Close quarters tactics. For minutes to clear, demolition experts placed shaped charges on critical support beams. Team Charlie descended into chemical laboratories where the air was thick with noxious fumes. Non-lethal gas grenades filled the space. Within seconds, every worker was unconscious. Reactors were shut down, valves sealed. Hazmat teams moved in to stabilize volatile chemicals. But the most critical operation was happening in the depths, where Team Delta was hunting for hostages. 3:04 a.m. Lieutenant Commander Jake Havoc Harrison led Team Delta through corridors that smelled of rust and desperation. Intelligence had indicated 3 holding areas, but thermal imaging was useless through reinforced hull. They were operating on instinct. The first holding area was empty, just chains and bunks. Harrison cursed and moved deeper. At 3:08 a.m., they found the second location, a reinforced door with guards outside. Through fiber optic cameras, they saw approximately 80 people packed into a space meant for half that. But 6 guards inside were positioned where they could kill hostages before SEALs could neutralize them. Harrison made a split-second decision. His team would create a diversion. Meanwhile, a smaller element would breach through a ventilation shaft above, dropping in before guards could react. At 3:11 a.m., an explosion echoed down the corridor, a controlled detonation designed to sound like a hull breach. For guards rushed out to investigate. Suppressed shots dropped them instantly. The 2 remaining guards inside spun toward the door. They never saw the SEALs dropping through the ceiling. United States Navy, Harrison announced quietly, "You're going home." Some cried. Others were too stunned to react. Team Delta began moving them toward extraction points. At 3:19 a.m., the third and largest holding area was located. a converted cargo hold with over 200 hostages in caged sections, 12 guards, fortified positions, booby-trapped entrances designed to collapse the ceiling if breached. Combat engineers spent 6 agonizing minutes locating and disabling explosive triggers. At 3:27 a.m., they moved. 3 simultaneous breaches. Flashbangs, gas, overwhelming violence delivered with surgical precision. 42 seconds. Room secured. Many hostages couldn't walk. Some suffered from infections and malnutrition. Emergency medical teams rushed in, triaging critical cases. Among the rescued, the marine biologist from California, emaciated but alive. The twin brothers from Arizona, holding each other and sobbing. The Army medic from Virginia, who immediately began helping treat injured hostages despite his own trauma. By 3:34 a.m., all 420 hostages were located. Evacuation was underway, but Operation Black Horizon wasn't over, because somewhere in this fortress, Rafael Ruiz was still free. 3:36 a.m. A specialized 6-man SEAL element moved through upper levels with a single mission: capture or kill Rafael Ruiz. Intelligence suggested he maintained a fortified command suite with multiple escape routes, reinforced walls, and advanced security. But the electromagnetic warfare had fried these systems. Doors stood open. Cameras showed static. Ruiz's fortress had become a trap. At 3:41 a.m., they found his quarters. Lavish, expensive, but empty. The lead operator noticed fresh coffee, still warm. Someone had been here moments ago. Behind a false wall panel, a hidden passage leading down into the machinery spaces. An escape route Ruiz had built for exactly this scenario. The SEALs descended carefully into the engine room. The noise was deafening, and then they saw him. Rafael Ruiz standing at a console, his hand on a control lever. Around him, 6 bodyguards held positions behind equipment racks. "Stop right there," Ruiz shouted. "You think you've won? I've built something bigger than you can imagine. Even if you kill me, the organization continues." His hand moved toward the lever. "If you try, I'll scuttle this ship with everyone on it. All those hostages you worked so hard to save, they'll drown in the dark. So let me walk away, or we all die together." The SEAL team leader didn't hesitate. "Take him." From 3 positions, sniper shots rang out simultaneously. 3 bodyguards fell instantly. The others spun, but the SEALs were already moving. Suppressed weapons lit up the darkness. Ruiz lunged for the lever. A sniper's bullet took him in the shoulder, spinning him away. He fell, clutching his wound, as operators swarmed his position. Within 10 seconds, it was over. Ruiz was on the ground, hands zip-tied, bleeding but alive. His bodyguard subdued, the scuttle switch untouched. "Rafael Ruiz, you're under arrest for crimes against the United States. You have the right to remain silent. Go to hell," Ruiz spat. The operator smiled without humor. "You first. Enjoy the rest of your life in Colorado Supermax. I hear the views are terrible." The final radio call echoed. "Jackpot. I repeat, Jackpot. High-value target in custody. All hostages secured. Operation Black Horizon complete. From first insertion to final capture. 11 minutes and 47 seconds. 4:23 a.m. As the sun rose over the Caribbean, the scene transformed from battlefield to humanitarian operation. Medical teams treated hostages who hadn't seen proper care in months. Navy corpsmen set up triage stations under floodlights. The submarine USS Tennessee surfaced, its deck becoming an impromptu landing zone for helicopters ferrying critical patients to hospitals in Puerto Rico and Florida. Evidence recovery teams cataloged what they found: 85 tons of military-grade explosives, 12,000 assault rifles, 240 surface-to-air missiles, 47 tons of cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine. 6 chemical reactors capable of producing enough fentanyl to kill the population of a small country. Encrypted hard drives containing communications with corrupt officials in 14 countries. Bank accounts holding over $4 billion. Operational plans for attacks that had been prevented only by luck. At 5:11 a.m., a blacked-out helicopter landed on Leviathan's deck. Rafael Ruiz, now in orange jumpsuit with hood and shackles, was loaded aboard under heavy guard. He would be processed at a secure facility, interrogated by multiple agencies, and eventually face trial on charges that would imprison him for life. As dawn broke, the American flag was raised over Leviathan's bridge. The vessel that had been a floating nightmare for 18 months now belonged to the United States Navy. The Pentagon's official statement at 9 a.m. was deliberately understated. U.S. forces conducted a successful maritime interdiction operation in international waters, resulting in the rescue of over 400 hostages and the capture of a high-value target. All American service members have returned safely, but behind that dry language was a story of courage and precision. 480 operators from multiple special operations units had executed a plan so complex it would have been considered impossible a generation ago. 0 friendly casualties, 0 hostage deaths, a success rate military historians would study for decades. By noon, family members of rescued hostages were receiving phone calls they'd given up hope of ever getting. Tearful reunions were being planned. News networks scrambled to interview first responders and intelligence analysts who'd made Operation Black Horizon possible. And somewhere in a secure facility, Rafael Ruiz sat in a cell, finally understanding that his empire had been built on sand. That American patience, while long, was not infinite. Operation Black Horizon would go down in history as one of the most successful special operations missions ever conducted, not because of enemies killed, but because of innocents saved, not because of weapons seized, but because of the message sent to every criminal organization in the Western Hemisphere. The United States will not tolerate floating fortresses of terror. No ocean is too wide. No criminal is beyond the reach of American justice. And when America decides to act, it does so with technological superiority, tactical excellence, and unwavering commitment to bringing its citizens home. As the sun climbed higher, Leviathan drifted powerless beneath American colors, a captured trophy and a warning written in steel. The nightmare that haunted the Caribbean was ended, and 420 people who thought they'd never see freedom again were finally going home. If you believe these stories must be told, stories of courage that happen in the shadows so we can live in the light, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to understand what American service members do to keep us safe.